Cheap Things, and welcome to our new feature, the Bowie Confessional. Okay, so it's the first one, and I've been volunteered by Mark to be the guinea pig for this. So a couple of tips before we begin, a little bit of admin, as it were, some housekeeping. First of all, you can film yourself doing this, and what the plan is, we're going to put these on the front page of the Cheap Things site as a featured video, so everyone can get to know each other. We can see a little bit about who the other members are, put some names to faces, find out about their favourite things and their history. That's lovely. And so if you're going to film yourself, little tip, try and film yourself in landscape mode, okay? Right. So, because things look better like that. Otherwise, you'll just get black bars on the side of the YouTube video. And also, we prefer that because our eyes are horizontal, not vertical. We like to see the world in glorious widescreen. Okay, so however you're going to film yourself, doesn't matter, but a little tip, if you are going to film yourself, always hold the screen in the way you're going to use it first before you hit record. If you do that, hit record, then do that, you'll just come out sideways. All right, little filming tip. Okay, next up, so we're going to post a link to an email address in the description, and you can send them to me and I'll take care of putting them on the main site. So, and we'll post the questions also below in the description. So let's get on with Mark's questions and see what they are. And okay, here we go. Going in with question 1. When did you first become aware of David Bowie? All right, so definitely, you know, I remember being at primary school and knowing, you know, the song about the spaceman that I could vaguely recall, and, you know, like lines like ground control to Major Tom. And then, you know, I'd be about 10 when Ashes to Ashes came out, and I kind of remember that being on top of the pops, and of course the very catchy chorus, which is brilliant. And then it was round about, maybe a couple of years later, around about the Let's Dance period, when that was a big hit. It was played a lot at the school disco, and it was on top of the pops and all that kind of stuff. I really loved it, and then I started thinking, oh, David Bowie seems great. So my mum joined Britannia Music Club, and they had an introductory offer. You could buy 3 albums for about £5, and they were sent to you in the post. And I chose, she said, pick what you like. I chose the soundtrack to Beverly Hills Cop, as you do, and Purple Rain, and also Changes One Bowie. And when that arrived, I played it endlessly and loved it. And that was the start of my real kind of fandom for David Bowie. Okay, next up, what did your mates make of him? Oh, I've got no idea. I didn't really talk to them much about music and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hang out with them much. They're a bunch of idiots. Yeah, I've got no idea. They, you know, they were into Wham and Duran Duran. I was into Nick Kershaw, then David Bowie, and nothing wrong with Wham and Duran Duran, but yeah, I don't. Billy No Mate's me. Okay. What was your first DB gig? That would be Main Road, Manchester, and that was the Sound and Vision tour, the one where people phoned in with their song requests, and Adrian Bellew was on guitar, and it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. Had a great day, and I went with a friend of mine who's sadly no longer with us. Yeah, just remembered that. Okay, name your first Bowie album and tell us, name your favourite Bowie album and tell us why you chose it. Oh, this is like an impossible question, Mark. Now, this can change on a daily, if not hourly basis. You know, I bought Ziggy Stardust shortly after discovering Bowie with my Britannia Music venture for £1 at a car boot sale in Morecambe. I put that album on, and just kind of, that was my real kind of introduction into the whole world of David Bowie. Love that album still to this day. Later, I discovered Scary Monsters. That's amazing. Love all Robert Fripp's guitar work on that. And then, yeah, Hunky Dory was something I'd listened to loads when I was a teenager, just those big epic songs. Weirdly, I discovered that because my mum had one of those Hooked on Classics albums, orchestral versions of pop songs, and that was actually the first version I ever heard of Life on Mars. But my mum was actually cooler than that. I think she just had that tape knocking about somewhere. But then, and then later, as I got a bit older, I really got into the sort of Berlin albums, especially Low and Lodger. And so today, I'm going to go with Low as my favourite album because I'm out in the park, it's a lovely day, and I'm feeling it in that kind of calm, Eno-esque kind of mood. All right, so there you go. Could change. Okay. Did you ever meet David, and if so, tell us your best memory? Oh, right, so, no, sadly, I never met David, bar I got away from him, which I still treasure to this day. It was in 1995, I believe, in Japan, on the outside tour. Me and my New Zealand friend Gareth went to see the concert, and we got dressed up as Ziggy Stardust. We borrowed our friend Kathy's catsuit, I believe, and some other bits and pieces. We painted our thunderbolts down our faces, and we made a big sign that said, "Give us a wave, Dave." And we held that up at the concert, and we're very happy when he saw it and gave us a wave. That's the closest I ever got. Okay. What's your most treasured piece of Bowie memorabilia? And will you show us it nicely? Will you show it to us if we ask nicely? You know what? I haven't really got anything. I've never been a collector of stuff. So apart from a signed CD that Mark kindly gave me, I've never really collected things. So I can't, unfortunately, show you anything brilliant. So sorry about that. Tell us your favourite Bowie story. Okay. So, obviously, there's lots of stories that people know really well, but I've got a nice one that comes from a friend. It was our lodger Craig back in the late 80s. He was, at the time, the drum roadie for Status Quo, and he was out, I believe, somewhere like the West Indies at a recording studio, waiting for the Quo to finish their session, and he'd go in and pack up the drums and all that kind of stuff. And he was sat in reception, and in walks David Bowie with a friend or a minder or one of his entourage, something like that, another person, not sure who. He walked in, and Craig was starstruck and just sat there kind of open-mouthed, and David calmly kind of walked up and said, "Would you like a coffee?" And Craig's like, yeah. And then he proceeded to make 3 cups of coffee. He sat down with Craig, had a chat. He was telling him about a new band he was forming that he was very excited about. That became Tin Machine, and how he was really looking forward to just jamming like a rock band in a garage with your mates, that kind of experience. He was really happy about doing something like that for a change. And so that's a nice little story from an actual person who did meet him, my friend Craig. Okay. And finally, question 8. Where were you when you heard David Bowie had passed away? Oh, sad question. And what did you do for the rest of the day? Well, I definitely remember being very shocked. I believe I found out by waking up to some texts that people had sent me informing me, because all my friends know that I'm a real Bowie fan, and they were like, "Oh, Jase, I'm so sorry, David." So I think I was just in bed, and I woke up and I picked up the phone, and I just couldn't believe it. And then later that day, I made the decision that I should do something, should definitely do something. So I spent a lot of the day emailing and phoning around musicians and singers and people that I knew with the intention of organising some sort of tribute gig. And a couple of months later, we did the gig in March, I think it was, at the Amersham Arms in New Cross, and we raised a big chunk of money for cancer research. So something, vaguely positive did come out of that day. So yeah, that's what I did. I just felt that had to mark the occasion in some way with some sort of tribute, and that was the best thing I knew what to do. There you go. Little downer at the end there, but anyway, there you go. That's the 8 questions that Mark has sent me. So we want your versions, and we want to find out who you are, what you do, and what to see you on the Cheap Things page. So as I say, we'll post all the details in the information below this video, and we look forward to receiving your Bowie confessionals. Cheers, Cheap Things.